أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters and players, Jazakallah khair once again for attending today. Another year passed, goes very quickly, and here we are again. And I don't know why the suit must have shrunk. It's getting a bit tighter as well this year. But we're ready to start, alhamdulillah. So as always, we're going to start with tilawat of the Quran, inshallah. So if I could invite one of our under-9s, first team players, Zakaria Amin, to the stage. And he's going to start with tilawat of the Quran, inshallah. MashaAllah, well done, Zach. Up you come. Check this. Is this okay for you? Shall we have you stood at the side here? And we will tape together. In fact, you'll have to come over here. Is that okay, yeah? Yeah, off you go when you're ready.
Assalamu alaikum. Now I will recite a short verse from the Holy Quran called Ayatul Kursi. This prayer offers a spiritual and physical protection and reminds us of the greatness of Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, absolutely beautiful. Well done, Zach. Really well done, and MashaAllah for someone at such a young age as well. Going to spoil you now. We had planned some entertainment this evening by way of another young man, very talented young man. He's unexpectedly been called away, so we're going to shuffle that forward and bring to the stage as well for your pleasure. It's Talha Naveed. If you'd like to join us on stage, please. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy.
Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulullah wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah. حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله تیرے صدقے میں آقا سارے جہاں کو دین ملا بے دینوں نے کلمہ پڑھا لا الہ الا اللہ سمت نبی بو جہل گیا آقا سے اس نے کہا گر ہو نبی بتلاؤ ذرا میری مٹھی میں ہے کیا سمت نبی بو جہل گیا آقا سے اس نے کہا گر ہو نبی بتلاؤ ذرا میری مٹھی میں ہے کیا آقا کا فرمان ہوا اور فضل رحمان ہوا पत्थर बोला ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरुल्लाह नूर मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वो जो बिलाले हबशी है सरवरदी का प्यारा है दुनिया के हर आशिक की आँखों का वो तारा है वो जो बिलाले हबशी है सरवरदी का प्यारा है दुनिया के हर आशिक की आँखों का वो तारा है जुल्म हुए कितने उन पर सीने पर रखा पत्थर फिर भी लब पे जारी था ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरुल्लाह नूर मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह तेरे सदके में आका सारे जहां को दीन मिला बेदीनों ने कलमा पढ़ा ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह
MashaAllah. I'm sure you'll be pleased as we are to see two young, talented lads from our community. MashaAllah, with Zach coming up and Talha as well. So hopefully an inspiration for the boys and girls in here to be brave enough, to be bold enough to just go and try whatever it is you're good at. Yeah, don't be scared. I'm going to introduce a man you all know very well, Brother Salman Hassan, the under-12s first team coach, and let him to run through a couple of things for you.
All right, Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you Tariq for that, and thank you to Zach and also to Brother Tala for some beautiful recitation. Welcome everyone to our 6th annual awards ceremony. Slightly later than we anticipated, but we would like to keep you guys waiting for a fun-packed evening, inshallah. A few housekeeping rules before we start, please, if that's okay. We're not expecting any kind of fire drill. Emergency exits are signposted, and toilets also are just outside to the left-hand side there on your way out. I'm going to run through the programme, just to let you guys know what's going to be happening for tonight. We're going to start off with a series of videos for the different age groups, the under 12s, 11s, 9s and 7s. At the same time, they'll also be given the medals, and the coach will give, for the respective team, coach will give an update on how they've done this season. If you have any issues with regards to tonight, there are various coaches on different tables: Coach Abbas, Shani, Rizwan, Waz, Dr. Wasim, anybody I've missed out? Coach Nade, sorry, yeah, as well, and Amir. So if there's any of those, any issues, any problems, kindly see any of those coaches. After the videos, it's going to be the reserves medals, and again the coaches update from the reserves coaches. Finally, there'll be the trophy ceremony, and then a series of awards for the parents. The chairman's going to have a time on stage for some awards, and then a final message from Coach Tariq, and then there'll be food at the end. Okay, Sakla.
Not too late, hopefully, inshallah. We won't be kept waiting for food this time. Right, so what we thought we'd try and do, we took on board a lot of feedback from last year, and one of the major points was the parents saying that maybe the voice of the players, of the lads, of the boys and girls, isn't heard enough. And some of us agreed. We thought it's just, obviously logistically, it's hard to organise all of those things throughout the season when we have training and matches and other things going on. And obviously, as you can appreciate, all the coaches are volunteers. They have their own day jobs as well. So, but that being said, we made a special effort this year. And so this year, for the entirety pretty much, you're going to hear the players' voices. So hopefully, inshallah, you enjoy. We're going to start, first of all, with the under-12s squad, which includes first team and reserve players. And yeah, so enjoy, see what you make of it. Jazakallah. Right, guys, introduce yourselves. Who are you?
Academy of the 12.
Right, okay, so tell us about yourselves then. How long have you been playing?
5 or 6 years.
5, 6 years, yeah.
Had some great memories.
Do you enjoy playing football?
Yes.
You love it. You enjoy playing for Prosport?
Yeah.
Got a great passion.
Tell us about, a few of you, off you go, tell us why you like football, why you like Prosport.
Just working as a team and getting to see your teammates every week, you know, getting to do what you love, doing, you know, showing your skills, impressing the coaches.
Improve his TV, like getting better at football.
Making friends.
Yeah, working as a team.
Having a laugh with your friends.
Improving yourself, make yourself better, how? Just in football, what else?
By knowing each other, like the
Oh,
coaches.
socialising.
Yeah? What kind of things have you learned then, being part of a team?
How to make friends, how to listen, discipline,
Characteristics,
personalities like
selfish, respect and discipline.
Yeah? How do you think it's going to help you now that you're in high school?
We'll respect our teachers and show a good attitude.
and listen to the teachers as well.
Confidence.
Learn
Shy in a group
How are you going to learn better?
because you can respect
To work
and you
hard.
can pay attention.
Right, so listening, concentration.
Working hard and always putting 100% effort into everything you do.
Fantastic, good stuff. So if you weren't playing football, if you weren't playing for Prosport, imagine you'd never heard of it, what do you think you'd be doing instead? Would you be as happy, as confident?
First of all,
Only just
I think I'd fall to the floor first and then stand back up.
One at a time.
It'll be boring.
Yeah? You'll be doing nothing, yeah?
Something passionate,
We'll do like other sports than this.
something that will
Might
again
take
help
up
us
something
out
else, yeah.
with outside life.
What we want.
Okay, right. Fantastic, right. Who's the smartest then in the team? Without,
By a man.
by a mile. So I was going to say a lot for the rest of you guys. So
I think I'll start with
Me and Soph.
are the rest of them quite dumb, so?
No, I'm good.
How's he smart then? The smart ones, are you just smart off the pitch? You good at maths or?
He can read the play on the pitch, and he knows.
He's got good anticipation.
vision.
We're smart like wherever we go and what we do.
Excellent. Okay. So being again, going back, I forgot one of the things. Going back to some of you being in the team for a number of years, what are some of your memories, some of your funny things, your best moments that you remember, any tournaments you played?
I think presentation evening, the first presentation evening, when the mayor came and the first trophies were given out and food as well. Food was very nice as
You
well.
like your food, yeah?
When we first started our first ever session,
Yeah? Tell us about it.
it was just fun and we enjoyed getting to know each other.
Yeah, that's good. Going back to the trophies, who won those trophies, do you remember?
Ismail, I think.
Me, Jamal, and I think biggest.
Right, okay. So have you built on that since then, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, worked hard.
Alhamdulillah, with the help of the coaches.
Yeah. Any challenges, anything tough that you found at any point that you remember and you've got over it?
When we went to like the first match on the Division 1 and like it was like hard to score goals and first time getting like the ball and
Excellent, fantastic. Okay, right, I'll go back to the other questions then. Who's teacher's pet then? Who's the one who always is cheesing up to the teacher or to the coaches? Soph again. Billy as well.
Jamal, your teacher's pet as well.
Is he? Soph, you're not going to defend yourself?
Yeah, go on, Sophie.
Yeah, it's not me because it's only because it's his dad as well.
Okay.
Ali, what did you say about that, Ali?
Alright then, yeah, going off the back of that then.
There's no reason to argue, it just shows you have a
Ali
big
said
goal.
no comment.
Who's the hard man in the team? Who's the-
Maybe not on the pitch, but yeah.
Okay, who's the hard man on the pitch then? That's what I want to know.
Same as you. You the hard one then.
Yeah, go on, say it's not me.
It's me.
Oh.
Self-confessed, yeah? Okay, right. Who's got the best tricks? Who's the most skillful? Little Issy is not
Probably
here
shows a
today.
bit too much.
Yeah? He's got
Can't blame him.
good skills, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Maradona's in
Maradona. So who is he? The Nutmeg King as well. Who's the Nutmeg King?
Not really knows each other, but yeah.
Yeah, probably him. Yeah, not Bilal. Somebody's pointing at Bilal.
Bilal.
Yeah, Bilal a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, right. Who's got the best goal celebration?
Oh, Ali, demonstrate. Would you like to demonstrate?
Ali and Sahib.
Ali, you demonstrate one.
We're gonna see it then. Get off.
Okay. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Four-night celebration.
Right. What's go on, Sam? I'll let you take over. Any gags, jokes, funny ones?
Who's the best football team to support in the Premier League? That was a resounding United there, yeah, I thought so. Moving on, who works hardest in training?
Billy.
Determination on his face.
Determination on his face? Yeah. How do you say that he works the hardest? In what way?
Like trying hard, he doesn't stop.
He'll go forward, but he'll perseveres.
Okay.
Never tracks back all the time.
He takes it serious.
Takes it seriously.
Focus.
He's resilient and
And on the flip side of that, then, who doesn't work the hardest in training?
He's a lazy guy.
Yeah.
Are you going to defend yourself there?
He's trying to score goals in his own goal. Is it? He gets confused sometimes and tries to take out his own players. Anyway. Everyone's looking at Jamal for some reason. Why is that? Eh? His own goal killing. Oh, okay. Who always thinks that they've had a really good performance on match day, even if it's not been a good performance? Anyone feel like that?
Optimist.
Yeah. Who's always got the spectacles on that always rose tinted? Everything's always brilliant.
How's it me?
Oh, it's Dilla.
Me?
It's very
Yeah.
I'm the same as not me.
Is every match, he's man of the match for every match, is he?
Billy clean sheet a lot.
Billy and
Billy and Suf, why is that?
Yeah, clean sheet, the long nickname.
What positions do Billy and Suf play?
defense.
Left back and right back.
Left back and right back. So they're the best players or man of the match most often. Why?
They defend the goals.
They don't give up.
They don't give up, so that means the rest of you guys are giving up?
No, we don't. It's
Oh,
just
okay,
that.
right, sorry.
Just a little bit.
Who always looks the smartest when it comes to match days and training? Looks the coolest, looks the sharpest.
The hair, that always different hairstyle every
gelled up.
week.
Yeah? Polished shoot boots. No? Is it Sahib, is it? Yeah. Sahab's getting all these accolades, man.
having a trim every week.
Yeah?
Comedian. Who's the funniest guy? Who thinks?
Demonstrate your stance, please. Go on.
It's not Ali.
Do it. Demonstrate.
Stylish pose. Who's got any jokes though? Who's the funniest guy?
Ali. Ali's
Not
officially the
Ali.
worst.
Not Ali. They're not funny though. But
Go on,
he's always trying.
Give us 2 or 3 jokes.
Right. Any last words? Anything else you want to finish on?
Sahib, I don't like it.
Say the same thing.
Enjoyable playing for Prosport.
Say that again louder.
It's been enjoyable playing for Prosport.
And since the season's coming to an end, I think everyone's going to miss each other.
Fantastic. So group hug then, is that what you're saying? You want to finish on a group hug?
I was going to say any words of encouragement for the other groups coming through to your stage. It's not.
Work hard,
Yeah, you can do-
work hard and don't disrespect your coaches.
Never give up.
Good. Excellent. Yeah. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Good. Thank you very much. Well done. MashaAllah, that was the under-12s. Give them a round of applause. Your boys and your girls. So, without further ado, then I'm going to call up the under-12s first team. So, boys, when you hear your name, you know who you are. Make your way to the stage to receive your medal for this season. Ali Hassan, Bilal Mahmood, Ismail Mohammed. Will you come to this side for me? Jamal Nawaz, Karaman Raza, Raja Sufyan Ali, Sahib Tariq, and Muhammad Talha Hussain. Give them a round of applause, please. Well done, boys. So I'm not going to say too much and steal Brother Salman's thunder because he's going to give you an update on the under-12 shortly once they've lined up, received their well-earned, well-deserved medals. And just for your information, so everybody's aware as well, we have split the awards for the under-12s first team and the reserves to obviously give the reserves their distinction as well, because they're by no means any lesser of a squad or any lesser of a group of players. So we want to give the reserves their own limelight as well. So don't worry, boys, you will be called up at the end as well.
Last but not least, who is the biggest one?
Biggest smile, well done. We'll have a round of applause for them all, please. Jazakallah, thank you.
Mums and dads, feel free to come up and take some photos if you wish. You've got a few minutes while I just give you a brief update on our season for the under-12s here at Prosport Academy. It's been an indifferent season, also the last, so there's no more football for this particular group of kids under the Prosport banner. Not because Prosport don't have a team, which obviously they do, but because the league doesn't facilitate for the under-13s league or the under-13s players. It's been a tough season. I won't say it's been easy. Commitment levels, injuries, and development maybe hadn't peaked or progressed to the level which I thought it might have done. But incredibly hard working bunch of lads, good banter and good camaraderie between them also. And everyone works for each other. You know, the behaviour, mashallah, is immaculate. They work for each other. There is no bad behaviour between any of the boys. And they always work hard, whether it's training or whether it's in matches. I've never treated them anything less than, you know, my own son in terms of either of the team members or the other players, because I think that it's important here at Prosport Academy we don't just try and teach them and improve them in development in their football skills, but we also try and look to improve them as human beings. So we look at their character and their akhlaq and certain aspects of social skills which will come in handy and helpful in their later lives and later years, inshallah. So well done from me. You're now retired, or end of season retired coach to the under-12s, and I'd like to everyone to give them a nice round of applause, please.
Well done, boys. Jazakallah, thank you. You can go down that way. Yeah. Okay, right, so we're ready for the video for our next eldest squad, the under-11s. And again, in there is also members of the under-11s reserve squad as well, and the first team. Brother Sad, Jazakallah. The video. Right, introduce yourselves. Who are you? Right, so tell us then, you all play for Prosport Academy. What do you enjoy about it?
Playing matches.
Playing matches, what else?
Winning matches. Part of the team.
Excellent.
Enjoying it.
Yeah,
Giving
yeah.
110%.
So what have you learned while you've been at Prosport?
How to work as a team. How to work as a team. To always try your best.
Try your best, yeah.
To never give up.
Never give up. Excellent. Excellent.
Communicate.
Communication, yeah. What other sort of skills, both football related and other skills, do you think you've learned, and how can they help you?
Becoming more intelligent as a player.
Discipline.
Fantastic, yeah. Explain a bit more. Do you think you could give us some examples how that's helped you?
Discipline as in respect.
For
For the team.
yeah,
More
so
brave.
is that,
More brave.
you're braver, yeah? You're not scared now, are you? There's nothing to be scared of. We've learned that, haven't we? Yeah? What have you enjoyed being part of this team?
Our coaches.
Yeah, enjoy it. Like your coaches, yeah.
And my teammates.
Teammates, exactly. What have you, yeah? Have you all made friends?
Yeah.
Since you've been here, yeah? If you weren't here then, if you weren't playing with these friends, you hadn't made these friends, you weren't playing football, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
Playing games.
Playing Fortnite.
Playing for just getting lazy playing on PlayStation, yeah, which is not good for your health, is it? Yeah? Okay, right. Anyone got any positive memories?
When we won the cup.
Go and tell us about that.
There was like a group and then we had to try and get the highest points and we got the highest points and won the cup.
When was that?
Last season.
Last season, you won
My
the...
first match.
Your first match, tell us about your first match.
Still remember it.
Yeah? How was it? Tell us, how did it make you feel?
Like it made me more happy, and then I learned how to be a goalkeeper.
Yeah? Were you nervous?
Yeah.
But what changed during the match?
I just changed and now I'm playing.
Yeah? Anyone else?
When I met Uncle Riz.
You megged Uncle Riz.
It's not hard, though, is it? Though?
Yeah, he's got a long list of excuses, Uncle Riz has, so. Who's the nutmeg king then?
Rio.
You think so? Rio
Yeah.
or Rayan? We're hearing two answers here.
Let's get a ball and set some up.
Yeah? Rio, saying Rio, alright. Who's the most skillful then?
Ridwan.
Hey?
Ridwan.
Ridwan. Ridwan's not here actually, is he? So it's between Ridwan and Rayhan, two R's, R and R. Yeah? We'll have to have a battle off. Who's got the best celebration then? Anyone got any good celebrations?
Yeah.
Go on, Shores. Go on.
Okay.
Any others?
Okay, do the floss. Do the floss.
Come to the front, Adam. Is that celebration?
That's the original.
Drunken master.
They've changed
I got
the lots. Go on.
You're done.
Okay. Right. Go on, Rio.
Floss.
There we go, that's a bit more like it. It's football one, yeah? Right. Who's the teacher's pet then in this team?
Majid. Rio. The captains.
The two captains. Have we got two captains? What more?
Captain and vice.
Captain and vice captain.
What's the
Yeah?
reason they say that this Rio and Magic? Why is it them two?
Why are they the teacher's pet, do you think?
Because Rio grasses over us.
Rio grasses over everyone. He's a snitch.
Your number's marked, mate.
Not
He knows where you
Rio.
live.
Not Rio. Why do you say then what? Have you snitched on anyone, Rio?
No, not yet.
No. Have you snitched? Go on, Rio.
Snitches over me.
Dude, what?
Why not passing me the ball?
Oh,
And
okay.
then he's like, Uncle Riz have the ball on me.
Oh no. Uncle Reed. Why are we saying the Magic's teacher's pet?
He's small.
He's the cute one. Cute one in the team, yeah. Okay, who's the smartest?
Mohit and Hakim.
Moyed and Hakim, but they're the SWATs. Yeah, you bring your books to match day and training. Yeah,
I bring
you
my
read it.
glasses.
There's the glass, that's what it is. The glasses make you look smart, yeah. Make you look intelligent. Okay, what else then? Who's the hard guy then? The tough guy in the team?
Majid.
Little Majid.
Yeah.
The guy is a year younger than everyone.
Get him stand up and see how tall he is.
Yeah, come on Majid, stand up.
He's only year 5.
Yeah, exactly. Stand up, Majid. This little guy is the toughest in the team.
Look at that bigger guy.
Adam, come and stand next to Majid. Come on, let's take a step forward. Stand next to each other. Yeah, man, you could have him. You think you could have him?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Okay, right.
I've got some written down here. Who's the crybaby out of the team?
Doing you over there?
Who's always moaning? Who's always crying?
Ridwan.
Why do you say that?
Because he gets fouled all the
He
time.
gets fouled. Well, that's what happens, isn't
Too
it?
quick.
Yeah? Who's the one player that's looking to encourage others in the team, matches or training? Who's the one player that's always trying to...
Rio.
Okay, good. So a bit of leadership quality there, is there? Captain quality. Who's scared of the coach? Or coaches, I should say. Why you say that? Why is Ryan scared of the coach?
He said it before, you want to go coach, that's why you have to go at him.
Is it scary?
It's cuddly actually, Liz. Have you brought him an apple ever? No? Or a gift or something? No? That helps, you know. No? Who thinks training should involve more laps of the pitch?
No.
Okay, I don't think you guys heard me. I said, who thinks training should involve more laps of the pitch? More running? No?
No.
Less actually.
Less? Yes?
Imagine.
Imagine, all right, fantastic.
Sadist.
So put that forward to the coach. That's all I've got, thanks to you.
Funniest guy.
He's the comedian.
Where's Sof? Where's Sof? Oh, he's not here. We can't. You can't.
He's
There's no
some
examples
sidekick.
then. Someone who's here then. Who's the funniest guy here?
I'm not funny.
Come on, someone who's got a joke. No.
That is.
Who's a joker? All right. Who's your favourite coach at Prosport then?
Coach Reese. Dad. Coach Was. Coach
Your
Was.
dad. That's Coach Was.
Okay, how about who's your favourite coach that's not your father?
Uncle Sash.
Or your uncle?
Okay, right. Should we leave it there?
Yeah, I think so.
Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Give yourself a clap. MashaAllah, well done. Give them a round of applause, boys. Make your way to the stage. Muhammad Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hakim Ghani, Muhammad Ismail, Mirza Majid Suleiman, Mohit Zia, Rehan Sajid, Rico and Rio Ali, Samson Okponrefe, and Sufyan Hussein. Give them a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I'd like to call up their first team coaches, Rizwan Ali and Wasim Mahmood.
So if parents want to come over and take some pictures while I just do a quick little chat about the season so far. Me and Coach Bass will tell you we're kind of blessed to have this group of players day in, day out in training on Tuesdays and Saturdays at matches. Hard-working group of kids, well-behaved, and also follow the instructions of their coaches, and the discipline is second to none. Team has gelled really well. We've got 3 newcomers to this team. We've had Samson come in this season, first season. We've had Suf, who's not here today. And we've had Rico join midway through the season when Mohammed Ismail had to go away for special education services elsewhere. The team is great. They gel well. They listen to the coaches and they take on board everything. And we've got Alex here. He's one of the teams that we play at Real Fellsworth. And Alex will tell you himself, not just me bragging about the lads, but any of these players will pretty much go into any team at Fellsworth and do a job for you. So based on this season so far, we've had a really good start to the season. We've had some challenges along the ways, rightly said, and then end of the season we're going to finish it off on a high. Just to give the heads up to the parents, I hope you're looking forward to Saturdays because after a very, very long time you're getting an 8 o'clock start. So forget half 11s, 8 o'clock, here we come, right and bright and early for Saturday games. And Rehan, just for the record, mate, I'm not scary, I've got nothing against you, so keep doing what you're doing. All right, thank you very much.
Well done, boys, and well done, parents. I'm sure you're all very proud. On to the next video, please, Brother Saj, the under-9s. Ready, guys? Yeah. Okay, right, introduce yourselves.
We are Prosport and the under-9s.
Excellent, right, so You've been playing together now a couple of years, few years this team.
No. Only played for a half.
You haven't, but most have. Yeah. Who's the guy here then? Who's been here longest then? That's a good question.
Danny.
Daniel, Zain,
Hassan.
yeah. Arif came later, Bian came later, yeah. So Daniel and Zain been here the longest from the start, yeah. So what do you remember? What are your memories? Tell me some good memories, some challenging memories of playing for
When I
Prosport.
scored my first goal
Just
on
say
my
it.
debut against Whitemoss,
Tell me again, tell me about it.
we got leathered.
Oh no, that's not good, is it? So what happened?
15-0.
Yeah. So what did you learn from that then? How did you improve?
When I met Coach Boss.
Yeah. Right, any positive memories, Daniel?
When I scored my first goal on my debut.
Hey?
When I scored my first goal on my debut. We won the cup.
First goal on his debut, I remember that. I was there for that match, fantastic. What are you saying, Daniel?
When we won the cup.
When you won the cup last year, yes. Scored some really good goals. You scored some goals, didn't you, Hassan? Do you remember what was your favourite goal? Do you remember one? You don't remember any of your goals?
There's so many.
You know, striker remembers every single goal he scores.
Harry Kane didn't have it, did he?
Yes.
Did he score it?
When I took Hassan's place in striker.
What did you do?
Press. I played better than he. And he took my place in goalie and played better
Oh
than me.
yeah, right. Suleiman. I remember, I got a funny story about Suleiman. See if you can remember this one. Came to training once, and you couldn't train, could you? Because what did you have that day before training? What did you have? Tell us. Hey? Crackers. You have a lorry, what was it? Lorry special. Lorry special.
Lorry special with crackers.
And you didn't bring your coaches any? Shame, shame. Okay, right. Going on to the players then. Who's the more skillful player in this team?
Danny
Silva. Danny or Arif. Okay, right. So who's got the Megs record then? Yeah. All right. Who's the smartest in the team? Is that all it is? You just need to buy glasses to be the smartest. Yeah. Okay. What is he smart? On the pitch, off the pitch, both?
Both.
How? Explain how. Give me some
Because
examples.
he's a keeper and watches the game. He reads the game.
Reads the game very well.
He tells the players where to go.
Excellent. Who's the teacher's pet then? Who's the coach's favourite?
Danny. He gets Danny.
Which coach is pet? Even my pet.
Amias.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's Coach Abbas's favourite?
Abiyan.
Abiyan. He doesn't give Abiyan anything.
Not on camera.
Even when he's having a good game, he tells him off.
Is it beyond turning up to get told off?
Yeah. Who's got the best celebration, best goal celebration?
Me. Hassan.
Let's see it. Yeah. Has everybody got the same?
There's a lot of movement there. I think Fortnite's
No, just because everybody plays Fortnite.
Has anyone got any celebrations that are not a
football
Fortnite
related.
celebration? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one.
Go on.
Ronaldo's.
Right. Who's the tough guy in this team?
Hassan. Hassan.
Hassan. Little Hassan.
This kid.
This guy. Oh, this guy. Hassan's tough guy. Same. We've got a few tough guys then. Not a behind, no? Who's the mourner then? Who keeps mourning all the time? What was he mourning about?
Last training session said, "Oh Zang, give me the ball." Come in there. I want to play there.
Abiyan, anything to add? No? So I'll let you take over.
Anyone scared of the coach? You're scared of
Which one?
Coach
You just get
Abbas?
bullied that side.
Coach Abbas, why?
Because he shouts at you.
Shouts-
I'm Coach Reese.
But does it shout positive things at you though?
Yeah, coach.
Coach Riz the most.
Coach is the most.
Yeah.
Coach is the most. You have a coach playing.
I'm scared of Coach Riz.
Red card for Coach Riz.
Not calling someone a name.
Who's the greediest player? Who's always wants to play? Arsenal hardly gets the ball. Who's the one who's got the best pass in the team? Why is it Arif? What kind of passes can he put in?
He just puts them wide.
Just put some wide. Two balls as well. Corners.
Into the dead zone.
All right, based on that then, who's got the best free kick?
He's a Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos. Wow, fantastic.
Rahama Hussein.
Any crybabies on this team?
No.
No crybabies, is there? That's not a crybaby. That's not.
Arif right 2 matches.
Is he?
We got pushed into the net.
Let him speak. Go on, Abhiyan, what are you saying?
He said he's feeling dizzy just because he got pushed.
Maybe it was a very hard push.
He got shot.
He probably was feeling dizzy.
Dizzy because
Who's the one that's always encouraging everyone to play on?
Danny. He's like the captain.
Yeah, he's the captain. When Danny's not there, or if he's not playing, who takes his place?
Arif.
Fantastic.
Little Hamza, do you want to add anything? Do you want to say anything? You've been training with the first team now for a few months now, haven't you? Yeah, can you tell us how it's different to the reserves and the first team?
It's more hard.
What's harder about it?
How they play.
Yeah, how do they play? What's different?
They do different stuff.
Harder drills, yeah? They play a bit faster. Right. If you weren't playing football then, what do you think you'd be doing?
Fortnite.
Obviously, you went to play and
You'd be a professional Fortnite player. Getting paid for it. Right, Jazakallah, thank you very much guys. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Yeah.
I'm sure we can manage a better round of applause than that, please. Thank you. Coach Amir, Coach Abbas are now going to be inviting the under-9s to come and collect their medals. But hopefully, I just want to mention a couple of things about the videos for your parents, inshallah. Is the banter between them, mashallah. You know, the talk, the chatter, the joking around. It's quite beautiful to see that even at that age, they get along really, really well. You know, Fortnite seems to be a common theme, yeah, which I'm sure most of you know what is, this damn game that has taken over the lives of most of these children. Celebrations used to be based around this floss. In my day, floss was something you used for your teeth. You can get something out you stuck, you know, some butty that was stuck somewhere. But
You're going to give us a demo, aren't you?
no, I'm not going to give a demo of the floss. Don't have the physique for it anymore, unfortunately. Anyway, without any more chatter, I'm going to pass it over to Coach Tariq to call out the names for the under-9s, please.
Yeah, so under-9s first team, make your way to the stage, please. Hamza Ali, Hassan Sajid, Abhiyan Hussein, Arif Saeed, Daniel Ahmed, Haris Nawaz, Hassan Bashir, Ibrahim Ali, Saif Ahmed, Zain Ali, and Zakaria Ahmed. Sorry, Sulman. It's a good job he came up himself anyway. Mr. Suleiman Khan off the first team list. How could I forget? Me and Suleiman going for a lohri just afterwards. Yeah. He's told me it's really nice, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, mashallah, well done. Photo opportunity if you want to take a picture, and then the coaches will come on and say a couple of words. Yeah, Amir. Come on.
We'll both do it, yeah. Go on.
Joint effort.
You talk, I'll just look around. Go on, Amir.
I've not been there for many match days, but from training, what I can say is from the start of the season, most of these players have developed really well, and a lot of them have come a long way as well.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season, a season of consistent development. I mean, we played a team, just put it in a nutshell, we played a team about 3 months ago, we lost 14-0. The same team now only beat us 3-0. So that's development, you know, they kept their heads up, fighting spirit, everyone getting in, they're all comfortable with each other, as you can see from the videos. So all in all, it's been a fantastic season, and long may it continue, inshallah.
Jazakallah boys, well done. And Jazakallah coaches as well for your hard work and efforts. I don't know about you, if you noticed, I found particularly funny on that video, Saif Ahmed nominating himself as the smartest. Yeah, that's the way to be. You don't ask, you don't get. Okay, Brother Sarge, we're ready for the under-7s video, please. Okay, right, guys, introduce yourselves. Under-7s, mashallah. You guys good at football?
Yeah.
No, at least fire is honest. You're good? What do you say, Hannah? Obviously, because you're coached by me. Obviously. Yeah? Let's start with the important question. Who's your favourite coach? Right, okay, so you all enjoy playing football?
Yeah.
Who enjoys it the most?
Yeah.
All of you, yeah? What do you enjoy about it? Tell us one at a time. Who's going to start?
Me.
If you like.
Me.
What do you enjoy about playing football at Prosport?
You do skills. That you have good managers.
Excellent answer. What do we teach you and what do you learn? Tell us.
You teach us how to dribble.
Yes, Danielle?
Because our coaches, they help us to learn.
Exactly, yes, that's a Hannah.
Because our coaches help us how to work hard in our positions.
Working hard. Is that useful just in football?
No.
Where else could you use that?
Everywhere.
Like where? Do you think you've learned anything else apart from football?
Yeah.
Tell us, Hannah, what have you learned?
Cricket.
Cricket at Prosport?
No,
What I mean is,
friends.
apart from football, when you come to training, do you think you've learned anything else apart from football skills?
Being friends.
Making friends, yes. What else?
Skills.
Maybe teamwork,
Never give up.
together.
Never give up.
Talking.
Who's got a favourite memory from playing? Because you played in the season now for one whole season, mashallah, yeah?
What's your best part of the season?
Yeah. What was your favourite memory?
The presentation evening.
Presentation evening last year?
Yeah.
One at a time. One at a time. What do you remember about presentation evening last year? Why was it special?
I won player of the season.
No wonder, you won player of the season. Yeah? Do you think yes, Danielle?
I like the dizzy penalties.
You liked dizzy penalties last summer? That was good, wasn't it? That was good fun in last year's video. Yes, Mujahid.
When we played in those, those concrete and where we used to play on Saturdays.
On the Mugger, yes. We used to play futsal on the Mugger, didn't we?
In school.
Yes, that was very good as well. Isaac, what were you going to say?
Oh, it's the same as the noise.
Okay, right. A few questions then about our squad, our team. Yeah. Well, in fact, we'll carry on with the other question. If you weren't playing football then, what do you think you might end up doing instead, and would you enjoy it?
Playing Fortnite.
No.
Practicing.
Anything else?
Practicing.
Basketball, so you'd play other sports?
Practicing. Dodgeball. Swimming.
All right. So you'd be playing some other sports, would you? Yeah. That's good then. Yeah. At least you'd be doing something different. But would you? So if you couldn't come to pro sport and play football anymore, how would that make you feel?
I'm embarrassed.
Embarrassed, sad, bored.
What does embarrass mean?
Upset.
Failed.
Being a United fan currently.
Yeah. United. Who's embarrassed is a United fan.
Yes. Okay. Right. Some questions then. Who's the cleverest in our team?
Hello.
You think it's Hano? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think Hano's the cleverest?
He knows everything.
Does he? Do you know the capital of Peru?
Small. Peru, I don't know. He uses it. He uses small.
He's smart. Okay. One of them did, yes. Who's the most skillful player now?
Hassan.
You think Hassan? Who do you think? You think it's you then, yeah? You think you're quite skillful, yeah?
I'm the best.
You're the best.
I'm a goalie. You can't say anything.
Zephyr, we never said who's everyone's cha-cha. We said we'll come to you in a minute. We'll come to you in a minute.
Who's the nutmeg king?
Me.
Everyone.
Everyone's nutmeg king.
Everyone.
I am.
Yeah? I'm talking about megging players, not putting the spice on your curry.
I megged you.
Nutmeg, yeah? I'm talking of that.
Mujahid makes someone in our team.
Put your hands up if you like Java.
Me, I eat Java.
Who eats the most Java every week?
Me. I eat the most roti as well.
Okay.
I eat roti. I've eaten everything.
Who's teacher's pet? That means who's always sucking up to the teachers.
Me.
Who's the best behaved?
Me. Naughty.
Who's the cheekiest? Between Myra and Zephyr. Should we kick the cheekiest out of the team next season?
No!
Right, okay. Who's got any good goal celebration? Because the rest of the team is rubbish.
Yes.
And it can't be the floss.
Can't be from Fortnite. Who's got any good ones? Mujahid, you got good goal celebration.
Football one.
Come to the middle and show us.
It's got to be a football one.
There we go. There we go. Okay, that's good. Classic. Anyone else, girls? You got any? Come on,
No.
Dia. Go on, Danielle.
I'm the one.
The dad.
I
Let's
was
attack. Oh, yes. Right. So I'll let you take over.
Ronaldo. Coach.
Yes.
Actually, no, I don't know.
Who do you want to be?
Go on. Yes.
Who do you want to be?
Who on the team is always getting everyone together?
Me.
Yeah,
Me.
Head the question.
Somebody's like, get
So
in
it's
the
like
team,
if
get in the team.
things aren't going well in a match or training match, who's the one that's getting everyone together to say, no, come on, let's go, we can still do it?
Oh, man.
Go on, who is it? Yeah, who is it?
Hello.
Who would you say does that? Who's that? Which player is it that's on the team?
Hello.
Who?
Hello.
All of you. Well, that's good.
Hello.
Okay. Who's the one who thinks he is the best on the ball? No, who is?
Not me.
Who thinks he is the best?
I'm a goalie.
ball.
But Dia thinks he's the best.
I'm the best goalie. I'm better than you. I'm better than all of you. I'm better than all the coaches.
You've got all the coaches. So who's the best goalkeeper then?
Yeah, but I'm the best.
You only do a training. You don't go Saturdays. I'm better.
Who's the burger champion? Guys, one final question. What can you guys learn from the other teams that are over there? One second. So from the under-9s, boys or the under-11s or the under-12s, what could you think you can learn from those teams or the players in those teams? Anyone can say anything. Mujahid, what do you think?
How they save and how they run with the ball.
Okay. Hanno?
Offside.
Ah, well done. Yeah. Okay. The rules are going to get more difficult as you get in higher up the age groups. Yes, Smiley?
How to tackle.
How to tackle?
I don't know how to tackle.
Well, I've watched the
Or dribble. I don't know how to dribble either.
tackle or dribble. Well, okay. Fair enough.
I've been using Danny's cones when he's
All
not
right.
here. He don't let me use his cones, so I do it when he's not here.
Okay. Ishaq, anything?
No.
What's been your best part of pro sport so far?
Me.
No, come on, something good, something serious. What's been the best part of your guys' first season? Anyone of you, go on, say, Padilla.
The presentation part.
The presentation evening, I know.
My first game.
Your first game, Mujahid?
When I joined Prosport.
When you joined. Okay, Myra?
The coaches.
The coaches. And now?
Penalties.
The what, sorry?
Except for
The
Coach
penalties you want to say, okay.
I was the first one to join.
You were the first one to join?
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that.
and Ishaq, yours?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
Only just penalties.
Well done, guys.
Mashallah, well done. Give them a round of applause, please.
All right, cool. About that video, that we left the best to last because we all laughed our proverbial backsides off when we watched that because it was brilliant. It wasn't quiet, and live it was just fantastic. You couldn't get a word in a lot of the time. So well done, under sevens. Okay, your coach, as you know, is Coach Tariq, and he will be presenting you your medals. So I'm going to call out the names, and then if you guys can come and so Coach Saj as well, sorry, yes, well, please, and to get you receive your medals. Adian Malik, Ahmad Ali Iqbal, Daniel Maroof, Hano Ali, Hassan Chowdhury, Huzaifa Zubair, Huzaifa Ali, Mohammed Ishaq, Medina Naid, Mujahid Hussain, Myra Farouk, and Suleiman Hassan. Saj, you know what? Score update. Round of applause for everyone for the under sevens, please. And Coach Tariq to give you an update on the season.
Mashallah, I know hopefully inshallah the parents of this squad will know, but just so everyone else is aware, mashallah, these are our darlings of pro sport. You know, everybody loves this group, mashallah. They're so entertaining. You forget the football, you forget the training and the matches, which we will talk about, but just to have them as part of the team, the squad, to have them around, the conversations, the questions they ask you, and mashallah, it revives you, it refreshes you, reminds you why we do this, why we come out every single week in the rain, why we wake up early on a Saturday to do this, because these guys, mashallah, you look at their faces, you look at the enthusiasm, the energy, and it just fills you. And you know, we're not even their parents, but mashallah, we are so proud of this group because they are so entertaining. And you know, I'm going to let Coach Saj talk a little bit more about them as well, and then we'll give you an update of how they're doing throughout the season as well.
Yeah, as Coach Tariq said, it's actually these group of boys and girls, you know, it's every week we come to training, it's fantastic, you know, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of enjoyment, it's, and you know what, it is a lot of fun because working with them, you know, even all the drills we do, we have the matches, the questions they ask, the way they do, you know, all the skills they do, and then you see them on Saturdays, how they perform, how they improve, and throughout the season, I remember Madiha, she came on the first training session, she was too scared to make a tackle. But look at her now, she's absolutely fantastic. Look at Myra, she was looking up there, counting for Peppa Pig. But now, look at her, she's fantastic. So all of them have developed so much that, you know, we're really proud of them. Thank you.
Yeah, mashallah, well done, boys and girls. Thank you. Just been informed, mashallah, we have a couple of attendees, players who couldn't make it on time due to other commitments, but they're here today, so I just want to reassure you, you'll be called up to the stage, inshallah, to receive your medal at some point as well. Right, so on to the reserves then. I've got my sheets in where did I put it? Is it in there? Yes. The reserve squads, which, as I've said, seem to, among some people, seem to have gained a reputation as, you know, they're not considered as important or they're not at the forefront or anything. Unfortunately, some things as they are in football. We have a first team squad and you have the reserve squad, and the first team squad receives more of the attention because of where they are. They're in the league, they're playing matches in the league and things like that. But the reserves are no less important. And I'll tell you why. I'd like to explain why that is. Because where do we get the players for the first team? And that is what the coaches are looking for all the time, is for improvement in the players. So we're there to try and facilitate that, to teach them, to give them the drills, to encourage the players in the first team to maintain improvement, constant improvement. Because naturally, the children, what you will see in some of the boys is they just want to get in the first team for that bright kit. They want a kit, yeah? That's what it's all about. And then as soon as you give them that kit, then it's almost like metaphorically they sit down and put their feet up. And unfortunately, you don't see the progression. And we're always trying to encourage them that. And the reserves is like a kick up the bum for them, because we remind them there's a procedure in place. We give them 2 parts of their season as a review from the coaches, before Christmas, after Christmas. So if you're in the first team, we're assessing how you do if you're a new player up until Christmas. And then for the whole of the squad, if you've been there already or if you've just arrived, look after Christmas until now, see if you are progressing, see what your attitude is, see if you're ready or not. And unfortunately, in some cases it isn't. At the same time, the reserves are there absolutely to complement the first team, because any new players who arrive to Pro Sport, we won't just put them straight into the first team. We put them in the reserves, no matter how good they might think they are, no matter how good their parents might tell us they are, or whoever's recommended them. We want to see how they are in a team dynamic, how they are around other people, how well they take instruction from coaches. So that's what we do in the reserves. And in the reserves, mashallah, you will see players who arrive not able literally to kick a ball. And the coaches work extremely hard with those boys because we see the potential. What we're looking for is not, and I'm sure I've said this over the years before, we're not looking for the most skillful, the most talented, the guy who thinks he can score the most goals. No. The attributes we're looking for is the smartest player, the most patient player who's not going to give up after his first mistake, and the hardest working player. No matter what we ask him to do, no matter how hard we push him, he's going to keep on going. And unfortunately in the reserves parents, you'll know that if you come and watch, the few that do, there's some, for them, it's just a chance to get out, to meet their friends, to have a bit of a kick about, and that's fine. That's not a problem. We won't then unduly push those players and pressure them. But the ones who say they want to be in the first team and they want to play in the league match on a Saturday, then we give them that extra focus and attention. We tell them, we might not be all about skills and team positioning, things like that, but subtly we're pushing them and seeing if they can take the intensity and the pressure that is there in the first team training and is definitely there on a Saturday in the league matches, which is a thing that a lot of people don't realize. It is a very big step between reserve training, first team training, and Saturday matches. Our first team players, all our first teams are not the best teams in the league. They have to work extremely hard. And it's a shock, it's a wake-up call to them. And a thing you won't ever have heard some of the other players say, unless you're a parent who attends on a Saturday, you will hear a player come off the pitch and say, that lad, he just kept kicking me. And we say, well, that's something you have to deal with. That is competition. That was that player's way of trying to outdo you. He couldn't outskill you, so he was going to outkick you. You get players coming off, and it happened just this Saturday. One of our under-7s, actually, he said, the boy, the defender, he had an angry face on and just kept telling me to shut up, shut up, shut up. And we asked him, well, why is that? That's a good sign, isn't it? Because if the defender's not happy, that means you're doing something right. So it's not just about football. That's what I want to get across to you. It's completely holistic. There's so many other things that we don't realize that even when I began, you didn't think you'd come up against, challenges you'll have to deal with. And alhamdulillah, that's why the breadth of our coaching talent, all the different experience they've got, that's why it's so valued and so important. And hopefully, inshallah, I know you won't believe me. I mean, you parents from the reserves probably think it's just them. I get texts and calls, and the coaches get asked every single week, when is my son going to be in the first team? When is he going to be in the first team? And you just have to be patient, because we can tell if they're ready or not. And the worst thing is, if under your pressure, we push a child, a boy, into the first team, and in first team training, he can't compete. He doesn't get a touch of the ball. I want you to imagine how that feels for him. Whereas suddenly in the reserves, he might have been one of the better players, but you're telling him, oh, you're fantastic. I'm going to ask the coach, you're going to get in the first team. I think you're good enough for the first team. Or your friends say you're good enough. Your PE teacher who's, never coached or anything, but he thinks you're a really good player. And then suddenly, he comes in thinking he's a good player and he's going to score 10 goals or make 10 saves. He suddenly doesn't get a touch of the ball in training. How is that going to make him feel? Is that going to put him off football completely? Is he going to come up with some excuse to not, fake an injury? We've had that. We get players faking an injury. So if you get a recurring faked injury, I've got a headache, I've got a stomachache this week, we know there's something mental going on. We know there's something else. So, apart from that lecture, sorry, apologies for the lecture, but I just wanted everybody to understand that the reserves is not an afterthought. It's not just something, somebody actually accused us of the reserves as a cash cow. We put it on just to collect fees. We don't. Actually, we make a loss putting on the reserve sessions. But we keep it on because it is valued. It is important to us that there are players coming in all the time who are developing and who will, inshallah, eventually make it into the first team and put pressure on those players who are in the first team already. So, that said then, I would like to invite up together, because one of the groups is quite small, the under-12s and under-11s reserves to the side of the stage to receive their medals. Under-12s reserves, Aman Saeed, Ayan Ali, Fahim Wasim, Hanzala Mohammed, Caden Ali, Lawand Mohammed, Sal Bukhari, and alongside them, please, the under-11s reserves, Adam Kareem, Aland Mohammed, Ayan Nawaz, Eugene Tanubu, Hashim Basharat, Ibrahim Shabir, Jack Sutcliffe, Jamie Fwanton, Kabir Ahmed, Mehtab Rahman, sorry if I get this one wrong, Olan Raweju Hamid, or Larry, Qasim Usman, Sami Yunus, Sandro Alvarenga, Mohammed Shoaib Imran, Mohammed Tamjid, Dalal Khan, Umar Hussain, Mirza Wajid Ikhlas, and Mohammed Yusuf. Give them a round of applause, please, as they come up. Well done, boys. And alongside their coaches. Yeah. So if I could have Coach Abbas as well, who's coached the under-11s. Is he here? There he is. And Coach Riz, who's been coaching the under-12 reserves. And actually, I want to say something here before we carry on as well. Every year so far, I've ended up missing somebody's name. So I apologize for that beforehand. And if you know you are in this squad and I've missed your name out, do come up. I apologize for that. Past form says I'm going to miss somebody's name this year as well. Yeah, boys. Jamie, if you line up at the front. Sorry, I'm just going to rearrange you, boys.
Just while Coach Tariq is doing a little bit of rearranging with the players. Just to reiterate really about the reserves group. Being a first team coach, I depend on the reserves, and I've had at least three players come in from the reserves into the first team, but the ones that have stuck out and actually made it has only been one. That's how hard it is. They come and the training is different, the work rate is different, the development is different, everything, the techniques are different, and it's a big jump. So it's not just something which, Coach Tariq, who has got a lot more experience in it and wisdom in this regard than I have, but we're actively always looking for players, because one thing that we're always short on. So if the reserves can excel and are showing progress and development and showing some signs of being able to becoming part of the first team, we would welcome that with open arms. So encouragement in that regard is most welcome from you parents. A round of applause, please, for the reserves.
Well done. Well done, boys. On to the under-9s. Before I carry on, in fact, I know one or two people may have noticed and will point out and maybe say the same thing that I'm expecting, is that in the videos you didn't see much of those reserves players. And there is a good reason for that. It's just simply that they didn't turn up, because again, we invited everybody. And alhamdulillah, there were some reserves players who turned up, but I think between all 3 squads, I think we had 5 players turn up. So sometimes it has to come from yourselves, from the parents, the players. We appreciate how busy everyone is. And sometimes this is exactly why your son or daughter is in the reserves. Because, again, for the first team, it takes a lot of commitment from yourselves. Something we'll talk about later on as well. It takes a lot more effort. And again, I appreciate we're all busy. They have school, and we're different from the non-Muslim children, where straight after school our kids are going to madrasa at various times. And again, straight from madrasa, you're rushing to come to training. And we appreciate you doing that, and we understand that. So that's why there's no penalty ever for anybody being late or anything, things like that. But you've got to understand that if you want these privileges, these certain things of the first team, then those are, again, things we're looking for. We've got, as an example, we've got, just one player I'm going to mention. We've got a player in our under-11s reserves. I won't mention his name. The coaches will know who I'm talking about. And mashallah, he's fantastic, and he's not the only one like that. His situation is similar to others. Fantastic player, great skill, smile on his face, really coachable, really nice guy. Should be in the first team. Most likely, if he would be winning awards every single year in the first team. But unfortunately, maybe I don't know what his situation is, because I've never spoken to Mom or Dad. He used to come to Chapel Road. He used to just roll up on his own, no socks, no shin pads, no drink. And we used to let him join in. Eventually, we managed to get a pair of shin pads for him, so it's safe for him to play. Met his mum once or twice, and again, no indictment on her. Maybe the situation was difficult, but when fees were mentioned, we never saw them again. So I had to contact them, chase them up and say, listen, forget fees, it's not important. What's important is this guy, this little lad is really talented. We want him coming regularly, and hopefully, inshallah, push him into first team. But again, parents weren't there. They weren't able to attend for whatever reason. So this boy still comes training to this day, turns up with his neighbor or his friend or whoever, or just rolls in on his own sometimes and just wants to play football. And that is the situation with a lot of the players. There are talented players within the reserves, but there is no parental support. And this seems to be echoing and repeating what I've spoke about last year, so I'm not going to go over it again. But basically, the message I'm trying to get on is, if you want your son to progress, and not just in the football, get into first team, in whatever it is, you need to be there to support him and take some of the burden away from the child. So all the preparation and the support, so he can just turn up and be focused on the activity and not worry about, is he getting there, has he got his kit, has he got his fees, is coach going to ask him for fees again, is he late, all of these things. That's what you need to do, please. So inshallah, next year, if we do the same again, we'd like to see more reserves, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to have videos of the reserves on their own. Yeah, dedicated video. But Jazakallah, again, I keep going off on these rants, apologize. Please could I call up to the stage our youngest reserves groups, the under-9s reserves, and their coaches, Sajid Iqbal and Dr. Wasi Muhammad. So, Abu Bakr Muhammad, Alvin Rustam, Awab Ullah Iqbal, Ayan Irfan, Ayan Khan, Ayman Namik, Muhammad Bilal, Eliza Shazad, Hamza Ali, Jibreel Maqbool, Muhammad Mubashir Ali, Muhammad Murtaza, Musa Azam, Musa Yunus, Mustafa Mahmood, Muhammad Qasim, and Zakaria Farouk. And again, this is the last group, so I'm bound to have missed somebody off. If I've missed your name and you know you're in this group, do please come up to the stage. Well done, boys. So do please come up and take pictures of your boys as well, and girls. Mashallah, you'll notice that's an important aspect of our culture here. This year we've had an influx of girls arriving for training as well. Mashallah, they're doing very well, just as well as the boys are. Give them a round of applause, please. Thank you. Guys.
To be honest with you, with this team, and just like the other reserves teams, if you look at these boys, these are the ones that come every week. These are the ones that try hard and they do the best. And you know what? A lot of them, when they started, they couldn't really play football. They couldn't kick the ball, they couldn't pass the ball. But as they've been coming every week, every month, throughout the year, now they understand quite a lot about football. Support play, positional play, a lot of things. And we, as coaches, we're actually pleased that these are the kids that they try their best, they have fun, and they're learning. And a few of them have also been promoted to the first team. And as Coach Tariq said, from these boys as well, there are 2 or 3 or 4, or even more, who've got a chance to get to the first team. And all the boys that come here, if they're good, if they've got the skill, they've got the talent, they try hard, and they've got the support of the parents, and they've got the confidence, they can achieve whatever they want. So it's up to the parents as well to make sure that they come to training, they take part, and they get involved and encourage the kids. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah, thank you very much. Okay, before we move on to the next awards, just for the benefit of a few of the players who've arrived a little after their awards, please could I call up just to the steps again the 4 first team squads. So the under 12s, under 11s, under 9s and under 7s, please. And alongside them, Ayan Nawaz as well, please, if you can come up to the stage to receive your medal. Hello, under 12s, under 11s, under 9s, under 7s, first team, just to the steps here, please. Yeah, so under 12s at the back. On the steps, I'll line them up on the steps. Ah, okay. Yeah. No problem. Next.
Coach Wasim? Coach Wasim? Is he here? Where is Coach Wasim? Coach Was? Can we just have all the coaches, reserve and first team, all up on the stage as well, please? Coach Need as well. Guys, don't move yet. Make sure you're all going to come in the picture, please, yeah? Coaches, please, yeah? Just join in. I'm coming. Okay, is that everyone? Yep. teams, please.
Future Ronaldo's and Messi's. And Mo Salah's.
If we get the under sevens to go first, Shani. Shani, get the under sevens to go back first, yeah?
One second. What are we doing, guys?
Under sevens, come on, let's go. Sevens. Under nines.
Come on.
Under
Hurry up,
nines.
guys.
Careful when you go down the stairs. Careful when you go down the stairs.
Where's yours?
Is it left at the table? Cheap.
Chucked it away. Not very nice.
Reserves medals, coaches update, trophy ceremony. Okay. Right, need to find out.
Those were our team.
Are we doing the main ones now?
Yeah, trophies now.
Yeah, we've got a special. Okay, we've got a special request. Apparently we've overlooked somebody very important who's being very demanding and is threatening to have a tantrum right in the middle of the floor over there if we don't call him up. So that is Yahya Mahmood. Come and get your medal, please, Yahya. Where are you? Give him a clap. He's here. Don't be shy, Yahya. MashaAllah, looking very smart. Inshallah, our youngest member of Prosport to come up. He's not old enough for Amir's team, no. In fact, he's too young. Well done. That cheesy grin. Well done, Yahya. Off you go. Okay, right. Jazakallah, thank you again for your continued patience. I hope you are enjoying it, and we're getting a little bit sweaty up here, but it's time now for our individual awards, which we have each year. So again, if you're new this year, if you're not familiar, I'll run you through. We have individual awards for both the first team and the reserves. So for the first team from each squad, there are 3 awards. There is the Coach's Player of the Season, who, after discussion, we decide who our Player of the Season has been. Not just, again, the most talented, but the one who's been applying himself the most, the hardest working, the most intelligent, the one who's easy to coach. As well, after that, we have the Parents' Player of the Season. Again, I send those votes out, and most of you reply and send me back nominations for Parents' Player of the Season, and then we choose our Most Improved Player of the Season as well. And then from the reserves, we pick out the Player of the Season from the reserves as well. So we will start with under 12s, I believe. Is that the order we went in? Just bear with me, I need to check my list. Yeah, you can do it.
Have you got it? Yeah, go for it.
Okay. For the under 12s Players of the Season awards, we're going to start with the Coach's Player of the Season. And again, a typical example of someone who came from the reserves and has been Mr. Consistent, fantastic, presence of mind, calm, plays a secure, simple pass every single time, has made the position his, like with zero competition almost. He's that proficient and that competent in that position. And the Coach's Player of the Season is Sufyan Ali. to Sufyan Ali, please. The next is the Parents' Choice Player of the Season. I may as well just put myself on repeat and loop and just repeat everything I just said for Suf, because it's exactly the same. I wish that every player, and I don't mean in on the 12s team, I mean every player had this kind of heart and desire. Humility is personified. He's an example of humility. He doesn't ever show off. He doesn't ever brag. He doesn't ever boast. He's got one of the cutest smiles for under 12. And again, has probably had more hard tackles made on him than you'd ever believe, and still come out of it and still carried on playing. And it might surprise you a little bit because of his actual size and his physique. So, the Parents' Player of the Season is Bilal Mahmood. Round of applause, please, for Bilal Mahmood. The final award in this category for the under-12s Player of the Season is the Most Improved Player. This player has been chosen for a number of reasons, one of which is his versatility on the pitch. It was quite a tough choice, but he has played in a number of positions, from goalkeeper to defender to striker to midfield. And somebody who's shown some leadership quality on the pitch when it's been quite a testing and troubling season in terms of challenges that they faced, basically mainly on numbers of players that can participate and partake in the team. The most improved player of the season goes to Ali Hassan. And that, for the under-12s, is the trophy ceremony done for the under-12s. I shall now pass on to Coach Riz, Coach Tariq, to do the under-11s, inshallah. Okay, Coach Riz.
Oops, careful. You okay there? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to, first of all, talk about a player who's been immense for the under-11s, and this is the coach's choice between me and Coach Wasim here. Every year we look at players who can stand tall and be counted for and kind of rally the troops, so to speak, when the going's going tough. You need to be at the forefront and rise up to the challenges. And this particular player has been with us now for a couple of seasons, but the way he's matured, the way he's interacted with his teammates, for having a player who's 10/11, having such leadership skills is important. And with his versatility across the pitch, I can play this player midfield, strike, defence. Someone even said, try him in net. And to be honest with you, if I did try him in net, I actually think he'd do a fantastic job as well. So the coach's player of the season is going to go to Rio Ali. Make your way up, Rio. Stay up here. You can stay up here if you want to get a group photo at the end. The next player we're going to talk about is the Parents' Player of the Season. And He's got lots of similarities with Bilal, who's just come up from the under-12s. This player is a rock. He's basically immense in every single game that he plays. Comes out smelling of roses, even though he's been sliding around like a madman. This player has brought a lot of stability. If you talk about having a spine, and if your spine isn't upright and straight, you're going to have a crooked team. The foundations that this young player lays at the back for us is vital. So the player I'm going to call up now for the Parents Player of the Season is going to be young Majid.
Mighty Majid.
Mighty Majid, yeah, we can have Mighty Majid if you want.
Yep. This trophy is one of my favorite ones. One thing we work very closely with is development of players. Each player is assessed for various parts of their footballing skills and understanding of the game. Me and Coach Riz have been working one-to-one with each player to improve and move on to the next level. I wish there was a lot more trophies for the most improved, because to be fair, each and every player in the squad is much better than when the season first started. So the player I'm going to call up is Samson.
Samson Ukponrefi. Hope we got that right.
Round of applause, please, for the under-11s trophy winners.
We give the under-9s trophies out.
Yeah, whoever. Yeah.
If I could have Coach Abbas and Coach May, they're coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
You got them, yeah? You're talking about them,
The first award is the Coach's Player Award. I think this player, over the course of the season, has come so far. From last season being a goalkeeper to this season now being one of the spines and one of the most important players in the team. Even in training, you know, he always asks to stay behind. He always asks to do extra training, extra bits. And I think it works in his favour that, you know, he always wants to do more and wants to do more away from training as well.
And he's our captain as well. Versatile, can play any position. And it's none other than
Daniel
Ahmed.
The next player is Parents Player Award.
This player, I nearly said his name then. This player started off in goal, and then he took the striker's position, and he actually made that his position. He was that good. He's always fighting, always hustling, doesn't even let the other team move. And you know what? He deserves this. Started off in reserves as well, started off in reserves. It's none other than Saif Ahmed.
That's the power of remembering Allah. It's the best way to purify your heart. And know you will be loved by the
the next player is the most improved player. Since I've started coaching this player, he's come such a long way in terms of now trying to play out from the back rather than hoofing it out or, yeah, he's available. Rather than hoofing it out or looking to just panic, he's built so much composure in his game and technically he's just so gone so far. Coach Abbas doesn't think he deserves it, but it is Coach Abbas's son and it's Abyan Hussain. Well done.
Which one do you want to do?
You do them all.
You sure?
I'll stand here, yeah.
You had given the trophies then.
Yeah, I'll give the trophies.
Yeah. Why? Why do you want to? Why do you want to say anything?
No, because I'm not their side, is it? So I don't really.
Yeah, for training, no?
Yeah, well, who have you got?
Son of Medea.
I'll speak about Medea, you can do the first one.
You'll be doing, or Nasu Masim decide which one you want to do for under 9s reserves.
Yeah, I'll get him to do Wish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll talk about Medea then, yeah.
Yeah, boys, well done. Give them a round of applause, please. Well deserved and well earned. And again, I had to interrupt there and make the point that, mashallah, Saif was one of the players. He's testament to what I've said earlier. Just thank you for that, Saif. Is that he started in the reserves. He arrived and he didn't have a lot of football skill, but what he did have was he was keen, he was committed. His father, his parents were there, supported him, and they wanted him. And they kept asking, what can we do? What does he need to do to improve? What should he be doing to get into the first team? And he followed those instructions, he did that, got into the first team, and now, mashallah, earned himself one of the player awards. So well done, Saif. Thank you. Right, moving on to the final first team squad, the under 7s, mashallah. Again, very fun, engaging, entertaining squad. But aside from that, I didn't talk about the footballing side. And mashallah, the under 7 squad, all the coaches, every single coach from every single squad, mashallah, agrees that this is one of the most talented group of players we have had the privilege of coaching. And on a Saturday, after all the other matches or before the other matches, the coaches always turn up to watch the under 7s because, mashallah, it's just so enthralling. It's so, it rejuvenates you, it fills you full of life just watching these little guys play, mashallah, because they play with an innocence, a freedom, and a commitment. They work hard. All they want to do is work the hardest and do their best. And it's, it's amazing working with them and watching them on a match day. And to the point where, some of you might think I'm exaggerating, and a lot of you don't get to see the standard of the league games just by coming to training. It's only if you've attended league matches you will know what the competition is like, how competitive some of these other clubs are who just want to win all the time. And just as soon as a player makes a mistake, he's out of their team and they get in someone who's better than him. But without working on and developing these players. But mashallah, these players early on, first couple of games, they were so good, mashallah, to the point that one of the opposition coaches at half-time had the game stopped, called the referee over and accused us of cheating and asked to show all of our player registration cards to prove that these guys were genuinely under 7. Because, mashallah, they just blew them out of the water. They were that good. And they were playing. They do, mashallah, yes. They just played out of their skins with the biggest smiles on their faces. And, no matter what gets thrown at them, and they get into that age now towards the end of the season where everyone's settled and used to it, they're getting the elbows, they're getting the stood on the toes, they're getting called names, but they just deal with it. They just get on with it. And they know now, they've got these little mottos in their head. They know now, well, this guy just kicked me, so coach, I must be doing it right, aren't I? Yeah? Mashallah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. You only have to tell them something once. Sally, back up, borrow your thumb. Where's he gone? Yep. I need your thumb on here, please.
Sorry,
yes. Jazakallah, thank you. Okay. First player And again, it's tough. All the coaches will tell you it's tough to pick the coach's player of the season. And truly, in this squad, any of the players could have got any of the 3 awards. They've worked that hard and they deserve it. But unfortunately, commiserations to those players who don't get it this year, and I mean that to all the players in all the squads. Keep working hard. Next year might be your season. But the coach's player of the season, again, a resounding choice. It could have got any award, but we decided to give him this one. Coach's player of the season, Hano Ali. Well done, Hano. He likes to call himself Mini Salah, aka Salah, which is the reason why Liverpool lost today, because Salah is here with us today receiving his award. MashaAllah, well done. Moving on to the second award. Again, a popular choice. Could have been given any of the awards. Works equally as hard, equally focused. This player, personally, I would say he smiles a little bit less than the rest. That's because he's got a concentrated frown upon his forehead all the time. And even at half-time, he's looking at the ball while I'm trying to give him instructions and do the team talk, because all he wants to do is just get straight back on the pitch, ask the ref to blow the whistle so he can just get going again. He is like an absolute workhorse, an engine in any part of the pitch. And without him, we notice the difference. We miss him when he's not there. Parents' player of the season, Mohammed Hassan Chowdhury. So he's got eyes on the trophy already. You don't want to shake hands, give me that trophy. MashaAllah, in the team, these two are like our Salah and Mane. They're left and right wing. They can switch wings. They can play strike if they need to. In fact, we even tried them in defense and goal, and they're just as good. But when we've got these two on the wing, no team can deal with us. They just cannot touch us, come close to us, MashaAllah. We're going to hand you over to Saj.
Hello. For the most improved player, it's quite hard this year, actually. It could be any one of the ones who are remaining, because for all the players, in terms of effort, in terms of commitment, in terms of attitude, in terms of behaviour, it's been, fantastic. So it's really hard to choose the most improved player. But the one that we have chose is someone, I remember when she started playing, she was scared. She was scared to tackle. She was scared to kind of get involved. She was quiet. But now, as the season progressed, her confidence and self-esteem grew, and on the pitch, she was the boss. She was the man. Yeah, she was the person on the pitch who controlled. She was the woman even, yeah. And she controlled the actual game. And I think for us as coaches, we've seen her improve. We've seen her progress to such a fantastic player now. So the most improved player of the season is Madiha Naeed.
If the parents would like to come up for photos with their winners, inshallah. Is that everyone? A round of applause, please, for the under-7s. Before we move on to the reserves trophies, can I just call up the under-12s first team trophy winners? So that is Sufyan Ali, with your trophy. Bilal, with your trophy. Ali, with your trophy, please. Quickly. Just get your, because we didn't get a group photo of you guys. So quickly, if you guys come up with your trophies. And Coach Need as well, please. Suf and Bilal. That's it. Fantastic. Thanks, bro.
Incidentally, I can't help but mention Coach Saj pretending he didn't know who the boss was in his house there. Badgie, we know. We regularly take the mickey out of him. You're doing very well in Fantasy League, I've got to say. Okay, right. Mashallah, on to the reserves players of the season. And again, it's been interesting season with the reserves because what you find with the reserves, there's a very high turnover. So players come and go very quickly. They come, they think they want to do it, they think they know what it's all about, and come the cold weather, they disappear again. So we've got, the group we've got, we know is a very committed and core group. And mashallah, from the under-9s, under-11s, it's a very big group. So again, it tells us a lot about the players' commitment and how much they actually want to be there. Throughout the winter this year, mashallah, we were pleasantly surprised. None of the attendance dropped in the reserves. In the under-11s, under-9s, mashallah, were the biggest group. Hardly ever dropped. And you know what it was like. We had those couple of spells where we had, literally, it was a blizzard. And we played football in a blizzard, and it was absolutely amazing. It was an amazing experience. The kids loved it. The coaches loved it. It's fantastic. So this is what we need more of. New experiences, new situations where you learn and you deal with it. And these players did that. So from the under-12s then, first of all, a player who I've known well. Well, again, it's a case in a lot of these players, when he first arrived, he could not kick the ball. He literally used to fall over his own feet. But mashallah, he's stuck with it. He's been here a number of seasons now. And each year he's progressed to the point where now the coaches, we see him as one of the senior players in the under-12s reserve squad, and he organises them and he knows what drill we're going to do and he helps set up. And mashallah, it's fantastic to have around a captain role like that. Even though they're not playing in a team, he knows what's expected. And mashallah, it shows good tarbiyah from at home as well, from his family. But the most improved player of the season from the under-12s reserves, Muhammad Fahim Wasim.
That's the power of remembering Allah. It's the best way to purify your heart. And know you will be loved by the merciful one. 'Cause that's the power of remembering Allah.
Under-11s, reserves player of the season. This player, at first, when we first started, wouldn't even speak up. He was one of the quiet ones, not getting involved sometimes, just hanging back. And now, he's the most vocal, going in for every tackle. He's actually like a captain figure. And now, he helps with everything. He's just outspoken now, and sometimes I have to say, be quiet, he's that loud. So the reserves player of the season is Shoaib Imran. Still a bit quiet now, a bit shy.
Assalamu alaikum. I've been privileged to help with the reserves for a few years now, and as some of the other coaches have mentioned, there can be quite a few of them that have developed massively. As Coach Tariq and Coach Salas have mentioned, they knew that support from the parents, and you can see a massive difference with when there is parental support at home and when they are coming to training. So we could have had many players, but unfortunately it just has to be the one, and this one that we've particularly chosen, Saj. His behaviour, attitude, and then again it can be said for many other of the players, but work ethic, works hard, anything that we ask him of and say this is what you need to work on, and he works on it quite well. So player of coach's player, is it, or the player of the season is Mubashir.
Coaches discuss. Yeah, that's done. 1 to 11, yeah. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a fun segment. We can't do an award ceremony without a little bit of fun. So what the coaches decided to do was sit round. Unfortunately, Chairman Shani did not send us somewhere warm, like Dubai or somewhere. It was downstairs actually in the games room. In the back room with the snooker table and the air hockey is. Anyway, and we went through our 1 to 11 of our all-star Pro Sport Academy team for this season. So it's all the way from under 7s to under 12s, which players we thought were the best for that position, and then put together this all-star team. So if I can request Coach Saj to put that slide up on the screen and ask all the coaches that partook in that discussion to come up on stage to justify their choices and to talk about this segment of the evening. Hopefully we should have that slide up there, please, Coach Saj. Coach Need?
You're not getting away, come on.
Well, to be fair,
Let's warm up there.
Coach Was?
Inshallah, we're gonna try and limit this segment to 20 minutes because we did actually put this down on film. We had a fantastic discussion, but it ended up 2 hours long. So there's no way we could show it. So basically the point is, over the years we discussed, because obviously under the 12s, they're no longer a team, they've disbanded, and we were just talking, and we always talk about the players in the past we've had in the teams who've since moved on, who've left, and we're thinking about if we could put together a 1 to 11, like those of you who watch Sky Sports a lot, you've seen the 1 to 11, where a certain classic player, retired player, picks his all-time 11 favourite players that he played with. So we're going to pick our 1 to 11 of the pro sport players that we've had the privilege of coaching, and which player we picked in each position, inshallah. We're just waiting for the slide to come up. Saj, if you could put the slide up for 1 to 11. I think we can start talking though. Naturally, we're going to discuss goalkeepers first. And we were spoiled. So in position of goalkeeper, who are the nominees we had from under 12s? I think, there you go, there's a slide up on screen. So you've seen who we've gone for. We've selected players from all 4 squads. But the nominees from, I've got to mention first of all, from the under 12s, the goalkeeper candidate primarily was Mohammed Talha Hussein, because he was one of the first 5 players that I set up Pro Sport with. When I started that initial team as under 6s and they were going to go into the under 7 season, I had 5 players. He was one of those players, Mohammed Talha. And he's played various positions over the years, but then he's stuck in goal. He's actually been dropped from goal, and then he's come back. He's fought his way back. And his attributes, I thought, was his shot stoppings, his reactions, but his positivity and motivation. He never lets a mistake get to his head, and he's always encouraging the players in front of him. So he is one of our candidates for one of the goalkeepers. From the under 11s, you guys want to talk about under 11s keeper?
Yeah, I mean, for under 11s, we're kind of privileged. We've had Mohamed Ismail, who's been fantastic right the way up until the new year, before he had to concentrate on Islamic education and then go to pilgrimage. So up stepped Rico, who was a player that's faced adversity across a number of teams, especially coming to the first team, then going down to reserves, showing true grit and determination and coming back up. As an outfield player, we never really thought he could do anything in net because we needed a player, and the obvious choice was to try and help Rico get that experience within first team football. So we give him that, and he kind of went into net, and it was like he's played in goal ever since he's actually come onto football pitch. So them two options for the 11s, I mean, like I said, we're blessed. They're both brilliant shot stoppers, so it's difficult to set them apart, but there is other keepers as well, and you'll probably see from the slide there is another keeper in the other two age groups that we want to discuss as well. So under 9s, I'll pass that on to Coach Abbas or Coach Amir, and under 7s, we'll discuss that as well. Come on, step up. Step up.
As you can see, probably most of the players, half of the players there are my players, under 11s.
It's not fixed.
It's not fixed, no. And my favourite player, I would say, would be Rehan on the left flank, up and down. He's amazing. What are we talking about? Yes.
Saj gave him a 10 out to say that.
Thanks, Saj.
You're welcome, son.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Yep, make it quick.
Go on, Saj, quick. Talk about Ishaq, man.
Yes, Ishaq as a goalkeeper is absolutely fantastic, and the reason why he is he's one of the few players who can, apart from being a goalkeeper, he can play in almost every other position as well, which is fantastic. And what makes him stand out from other goalkeepers is the way he kicks the ball out for a young lad is absolutely fantastic. His shot stopping, and this Saturday, I believe, he was man of the match because the super saves he made like Peter Schmeichel. So Ishaq, fantastic.
Yeah. MashaAllah, and I think we've noticed in certain families, MashaAllah, in certain brothers and sisters, there's a trait that runs. And with Ishaq and his older brother, Muhammad Ismail, MashaAllah, both of them absolutely fantastic goalkeepers. Their reactions, their awareness, their positioning, really good. And it runs again with the other brothers, Mujahid in the under 7s and Majid in the 11s, defenders, and their cousin Daniel as well, MashaAllah, a very talented player. And the reason I'm speeding this up again, because I just noticed again this could end up being 2 hours long, because I know, hopefully it's not boring for you, but us coaches, we could talk about our players all day and all night long and what we could do. But just having a look at that team, I mean, inshallah, you know all the players, you know how they play. For the parents who've been there on Saturdays and witnessed the other clubs as well, this, I think, is one killer team, as we'd say. I think I'd be happy for this team, with the under 7s included, and that bench as well, to take on any of the teams we've encountered in the past, the famous teams, for those of you who are familiar with the good teams in the league, the Moston Tigers, the Avros, the Northsides, whoever, the Moston Junior Reds. We could take on any team with this squad of players here. So, mashallah, again, testament to the players and to you guys yourselves as well. This was a little slight indulgence on the coach's part for ourselves. So I'll leave it there, we'll leave it short, and we've got a couple more very, very important, I think, the most important awards today to give out, and then inshallah it's time for dinner. Yes? Who's that, sorry? Get all that team out. He's moved it. Yes. Yeah. Okay, right, so Jazakallah, coaches. You can make your way back to your seats. Yeah.
Pain free, man. Appreciate that.
Jazakallah, thank you. Okay, right, we're going to move on to an award which we did 2 years ago. Last year, unfortunately, we were unable to award this award, but it's a very important one, and you know, some of you will guess what it is, and it's important to the coaches here. And I think it needs to be recognized consistently every year, year in, year out, because this is the single award which might go unnoticed, but to us coaches, we notice this. We notice the effort going in, the input that's been there, and how it is helping the players, helping them balance, helping them to be consistent in their play, helping them to have a really good outlook when they come to training and to matches. And this is the Parents Award. Very, very important award, mashallah. And you know, I want to talk about, before I call up the parents in question, just want to remind you some of the scenarios that we've had where these parents, the reason we've chosen them is because of their dedication, maybe their character. They make it enjoyable for us coaches to turn up for training in the rain as well, and on match days. And in particular, that corner over there, sorry, if I could have your attention as well. Jazakallah, thank you. What I was going to say was, and the reason I'm sorry I've had to say that, because it is credit to the parents, and especially the sisters, the few mums who are there every single match, every single training session. So clearly, I'm going to say, without any hesitation, shame on you dads who've never come to training or matches. Yes? Let's have a round of applause for that, yes? Because your wives, your sisters are coming to matches, and in particular, as I say, a couple of these awards we've picked, there have been a couple of mums who stood in that sleet, in that blizzard conditions on a Saturday morning. They were there with two of their sons. So they had a match at 9 o'clock, and they waited until 11 o'clock in the sleet and the snow and the rain and the wind to watch their other son play. And in one situation with a small child in a pram as well. So if they can do that, nobody else in this room has any excuse, any valid excuse to say we can't make it. We can't come to training. We're going to go and sit in the car, yeah? We're going to drop you off at the match and pick you up half an hour late after the match is finished, yeah? So if I could call up to the stage, please. I'm not going to mention you by name, partly because I don't know your names, unfortunately, for everyone, but Hassan's mum from the under-9s, Ibrahim Ali's mum from the under-9s, Muhammad Ismail and Muhammad Ishaq's mum from the 9s and 7s, and Majid's mum and Mujahid's mum from the under-9s and under-7s. Give them a round of applause, please. And alongside them, Arib Saeed's dad from the under-9s, Zakaria Amin's dad from the under-9s, Louis Umar's dad from the under-11s, and Jibril Makbul's dad, Zahid Makbul, from the under-9s reserves. Give them a round of applause, please. Okay, what we've also, you might have noticed the vouchers, we've kindly been donated vouchers from, Brother Shani will tell us who it is. Brother Shani, who's donated the vouchers, sorry?
Sorry, the vouchers are donated by
R&M. Right, R&M. Yeah, R&M Fashions on George Street in Oldham have kindly donated £25 of vouchers for our mums to go and spend as they choose. Yes, boys, join your mothers up on stage. That would be very nice as well. So all the boys, join your mums on stage. Yes, you can go stand up. You don't want them all together up on stage? That side? But let's get all parents together. Let's get all the parents on together. Why not just get them on together, man? They're here. Okay, Jazakallah mums, thank you. Thank you for your dedication. And for the dads to receive our kind token. It's fine, yeah. Off he goes. Brother Zaid Makbul. Wait for him to receive it, maybe Jibril. Brother Amin, if you come to the front, please. Brother Tanveer. It's okay, don't worry. I think, mashallah, we're particularly grateful, the coaches, and personally for Brother Zaid, who turns up for training, alongside 3 mugs of hot tea, which are very much appreciated. And no samosas. Okay, maybe inshallah I can move on to the samosas. When he hits first team, he'll bring samosas as well. Yes, teas and coffees. But apart from that, mashallah, the banter, the camaraderie, and mashallah, the family spirit we have around the club, which, you know, the coaches all appreciate. We are still on the hunt, Brother Zaid, in case, we've got a secret mission between the coaches because we know how much you like your samosa and you struggle to find a really well-made samosa these days. We're still hunting. And as soon as we find that, we will bring them to you, inshallah. Inshallah. Well, I want to ask as well, I forgot, inshallah, if any of you are happy to come to the mic and just say a few words about your experiences whilst at Pro Sport, yeah, it would be very much appreciated. Jazakallah.
Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Good evening. Welcome to everybody. I just wanted to say something. You know, we live in the digital age. When I grew up, I'd go around and I'd have friends. Little Ayan could have been my friend. Now what we have, Snapchat, Facebook, all the other things, are they our friends? This football, my son plays. He's won a medal tonight. Why do I come? There's a lot of sisters that come. And their sons, you know, they try. It's because we keep a link with these children. There's a very, very famous saying, abdication is not the same as carrying your responsibility. So we could send them and we could say, oh, buy him £300 worth of trainers. I took him down in my Lambo and then disappeared afterwards. Children are not going to remember that. What they're going to remember is their mum, their dad, in the rain, looking at them and saying, come on, get up. That's what they're going to see. So bear in mind, we're in a digital age. We're far away from our kids than before. And when they grow up and they say, who are you, etc., and you say, well, I'm going to second, I'm your dad. That's where it went wrong, when we don't have any link with our children. So I'm very grateful to Pro Sports because they give you the opportunity to have the link. So by coming in and supporting my son, I'm supporting all the other kids at the same time. And I very much welcome that you do the same. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. I just want to say, my son, who's part of, is Zachariah Amin from Under Nines, and we travel all the way from Hyde, so we're not local, but we heard about Pro Sport and the fantastic environment that exists there. So we thought, actually, we'll bring my son along and see how he gets on. And alhamdulillah, the coaches, the environment, just the etiquettes and the way people behave is fantastic, alhamdulillah, I must admit. And I think we've been here for about 18, 24 months. We've been in attendance. And I think seeing the way everyone conducts themselves, the children, the benefit that they've gained from it, we're trying to replicate something similar for our own community within Hyde as well. So, and that's credit to you guys and the parents and everyone who's involved in this. So alhamdulillah, I just want to say thank you to everyone. So jazakallah khair for that. Okay.
I just want to say that was very humbling from both Brother Zahid and Brother Ahmed. I'm sorry I jumped in before you, T, but that's what makes it worth all the while. You know, everyone knows that we're voluntary. No one gets paid for anything. No one gets any expenses for anything. But that just makes it worthwhile, knowing that your parents and the children appreciate it and take something away. We don't want any thank yous and pats on the back, but when you have that appreciation and recognition and acknowledgement, I'm nearly crying. I am a little bit. But not before food, inshallah. Let me get some food first. But Jazakallah, thank you very much to all the parents, to all the mums and all the dads who come. And inshallah, let's hope it's even more next year. Jazakallah. And now moving on to our chairman, Shah Nawaz Dad, is going to say a few words and give out a few awards, I think. Round of applause for Dr. Shah Nawaz.
Thank you, Sal. This is the part that I was dreading myself, coming up on stage and doing a bit of a speech. But before I carry on, there's one person that I would like to call up on stage. She's always been helping out from when we started Pro Sport Academy. You probably noticed that every year, whenever we do an award ceremony, she's always at the back helping out with the children. So I would like to call upon Sal's wife to come up on stage for her voucher. So a big round of applause for Sal's wife, please. Now it's the final 8 awards here, and for myself, it's my appreciation to all the coaches that have been helping out throughout the year. They've been doing it all on a voluntary basis without any financial reward. Every year, every week, they come to train your children. Yeah, whether it's Tuesdays or Saturdays, they're always there training your children, yeah, football. And I'd like to call upon every single coach that comes to Prosport to come and get an award. So my appreciation to all the coaches. So first of all, can I have all the coaches to come up on stage, please? Come on, guys.
This is us two. Last.
Jazakallah Shanawaz. I was going to say, tickets to the Seychelles usually a lot flatter, a lot thinner, but...
Let's just check. No tickets, no tickets.
Inshallah, never mind. Jazakallah khair, appreciate it anyway. Alhamdulillah, again, as you say, as I've said before, we don't do this for any gain, and I'm not saying that to mean that we want some gain. What I mean is the gain we receive is from seeing the pleasure on your faces, on your children's faces. So that's the reason why we do it. I think, I'm just going to check the itinerary now and make sure we're all up to scratch. It's basically the final word from myself. Anything you want to add? No?
Maybe chip in towards when you finished.
Okay, yeah, so final message from myself and Brother Salman in particular before we serve dinner. And the reason is, I think the majority of you should know by now. I think I've hinted at it, I've sent it in messages now. This season, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, a number of coaches will be stepping down, and one of those is myself, alongside Brother Salman, Brother Salman, Coach Naid, and Coach Amir as well, who's gone on to set up his own team and club. So the message I wanted to leave with you was this, inshallah. Not to say that we're proud of whatever we've done and we've achieved and everything, because, as I say, it's down to you guys. That is all down to you. There are clubs, there are places, there are days where coaches turn up and nobody else does. So the credit is really to you. And alhamdulillah, from those first days, the first team, the 5 players I set up 6 years ago, mashallah, I was hoping that their brothers, their uncles would turn them up, because I wasn't going to be picking everyone up. And alhamdulillah, they did. And to what we just witnessed now, that is really rewarding for me, where we've seen, mashallah, Madiyah Naeed is the most improved player in her squad, girls, Myra Farouk in the squad, Eliza Shazad, many others who've come, who are turning up. And that's really pleasing to say that it's not just a boys' sport. And where previously, as Asians and Muslims, we've struggled to participate and get anything organized and get anything regular, to now, mashallah, where our girls, our daughters are able to participate as well. And mashallah, our sisters are attending matches and training and in Failsworth. And this is a big issue because when I first started, before I even started pro sport, I was with my older son, Umar, mashallah, when he was 8 or 9, and that was going back a bit further now, 9, 10 years ago. And the team he joined was a non-Muslim team, and at the time that was Pro Sport Strikers, which I later evolved. An all non-Muslim team. And I was encouraging my friends and his school friends to come along and join the team and get a few Asian players on the team. But as soon as I'd mention that, yes, matches are played on a Saturday in Failsworth, there'd be a sharp intake of breath and a step back and, we can't go Failsworth. It's scary in Failsworth. They're all racist down in Failsworth. But now, mashallah, our sisters are perfectly happy, perfectly safe, are part of the crowd. And that is so pleasing for us. And, you know, the league committee members who I've been speaking to, as they've known that I'm leaving at the end of this season as well, the things they've had to say, and they've said you've lightened the place up, mashallah, with our lads, our smiling boys, and the mums. He says the mums that come, and he goes, our English mums are a headache. They're the ones who give us a stress, who come in complaining and moaning, and Alex is nodding his head. He gets stress from the English mums. Mashallah, our mums are the pride of the league, yeah, with their representing our culture, our deen, and representing their boys, and inshallah representing pro sport, which is what I'm most pleased about. So I'm going to make this short because my speeches end up being very, very long. I want to leave one thing, inshallah, that after I've left, mashallah, everything's in place. We've got a very good team of coaches who are still staying behind. Training will be going on. That everything will carry on as regular, inshallah. Brother Shanawaz is still chairman. And the teams will still be going on. But what I want to leave behind, inshallah, is that between us, between the coaches, between everyone here and our community, what I'd like to think is that we have developed a habit. Not anything else, because that is the hardest thing is to get anything up and running and start doing it well. But inshallah, we've made this a habit now. We don't have to think about this. It is no longer an effort. So whether I'm here, anyone else, Shanawaz, Salman's here, whether players come and go, the habit remains. The positive, good habit of involving our children in the society, in community, in sports, in the culture. We're not outsiders. We don't want to remain on the fringe. We don't have an inferiority complex. And as we've seen our players, our teams, outdo the other teams who've been around for years. So there's nothing to be afraid of. That jackass should have gone. Yes? Don't be afraid of anything. And teach that to your children. If they're good at something, if they want to try something, let them do it. And let's continue and establish this habit. And inshallah, in another 5-6 years' time, I'd like to be part of the crowd, inshallah, and see what pro sport is doing then. Because I don't want to see just the football team. Maybe there's a cricket team. Maybe there's a girls' volleyball team. Maybe there's a sisters' community group. All of these things. And there's enough people now. The reason why I felt comfortable stepping back, because again, it's for personal reasons. It's grown very big from when I started. And alhamdulillah, there's other people who can do a better job than me now. It is not my thing. This is not my baby that I'm protective over. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me the tawfiq to start something. And hopefully, the ball's rolling now. And you've seen the brothers and sisters who've come up. You've seen the young men and women in the crowd. They're the ones now to take it forward. So inshallah, all of you can do that. And I humbly request, I know I will have made mistakes throughout the years. I know I will have upset some parents and some players. Unfortunately, I keep getting reminded by my own fellow coaches, that I need to be a bit more smiley and a bit more friendly. But I'm not a kind of, that kind of guy. And it's one thing I realize about myself, I'm envious of my brothers, the other fellow coaches, is that they're much more approachable. And players, maybe even including my own son, is happy to go and tell their coach something before coming to me. And that gets to me a little bit, but alhamdulillah, we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. So a final farewell from me, inshallah, and I hope you can forgive me for any shortcomings. And hopefully, inshallah, we've managed to leave a small imprint on the foundations of the boys and girls that have come to us over the years. Jazakallah khair.
Coach Tariq, just before you go, a couple of lovely young sister players and Danielle Myra wants to just give a little token of thank you to Coach Tariq. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Shani, do you want to say anything?
Oh yes, new members. Secretary.
Okay. I don't know the full names though. You can do that. You can do that. I'm just going to say. Yes. Jazakallah, Brother Mahmood. Thank you. Well, if I had a tissue, I would have wiped that tear that came rolling down my cheek. I had to turn away. I don't know if anybody noticed, but it's been a pleasure working with Tariq. And it's his fault I actually got involved in this academy. I'm not saying that with a smile on my face. I'm trying to think how many times I've got a dartboard with his face on it. No, just kidding. We bumped into each other nearly 5 years ago, purely by chance. And he saw Ali and me taking advantage of a taster session put on by Tesco's or something. And he is very quiet, and he can be quite isolated. And I thought it was a little bit rude when I first met him. You know, he was a little bit cold. Then I got to know him, and mashallah, I'm not doing it because he's here, so you can put your hands to your ears if you want, but a really, really intelligent guy, a wise guy, a relaxed, cool, chilled out person. That is well respected throughout the community. And I thought, I'm from Bury, I'm not even part of this particular community here in Oldham. And one of the reasons why I would come twice a week for the last 4.5 years is for people like Tariq and all the other coaches. I learned player patience from this esteemed gentleman of mine, which was very hard to deal with young children if you haven't been exposed to them in an environment and know how to deal with them with patience and sabr and, with a smile on your face and be lenient and forego their shortcomings. But I just wanted to say thank you to him. A great friend, a great brother. We've had some great times together, and hopefully those will continue outside of the Prosport Academy kind of environment. But mashallah, there are new brothers who will bring something different, something more, something better, something fresh. One of them is Brother Mushtaq Ahmed, who is the Prosport Academy Secretary. Fantastic gentleman from what I've already briefly had time to spend with him, but knows a lot of stuff about football. Unfortunately, I think supports Liverpool, but never mind. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. We forgive these things. We're a forgiving community, alhamdulillah. But on a serious note, those that are left behind to carry on what has been established essentially by these two guys, by Tariq first and foremost with Prosport Strikers, and then with Shani coming on board. It's there now. It's automatically going to be there as long as you guys want it there. And I think there's going to be a positive for our community. On the final note, I'm also leaving, hopefully to go on with bigger and better things elsewhere, I'm not sure. But Jazakallah to all of you. You've all made me feel very welcome, very well respected, and I appreciate that. And also from my side, anything that I've said or done which has caused any insult or hurt anyone, then I ask for forgiveness also. So good luck for the future, and I pass you on to Shani for the last few words.
A big round of applause for Tariq and Sal. Thank you very much. As a token of appreciation for all the hard work the coaches have done, we have had a sponsor that would like to sponsor a meal and a dessert from Mother Hubbard's and Sweets Obsession. So Nads, thank you very much. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to come up on stage because he's trembling already, but thank you very much, Nads, yeah? Tariq, last few words.
You keep calling me up for last few words. Nobody's going to get their dinner. But no, alhamdulillah, I forgot to mention the coaches, who have become like brothers now. They're my brothers. That's how I see them, and mashallah, we're a big part of family, and that's why it's been easy. That's why it's been enjoyable to come every time. The coaches have been coaching alongside, and the parents that we meet every training session and every Saturday, and of course my family. I mean, I've been able to do it this long because of their sabr, their patience. My wife in particular, who's got frustrated at times, but she's put up with it and she's put up with me. And, you know, that's all I can say. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, the saying is true, I think, behind it. I'm not to suggest I'm great, but behind any successful man is a great woman, and that's none truer than it is today. Yeah, so Jazakallah, thank you to my beautiful wife Safina for supporting me. Thank you. And the coaches, and to the brother, Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah, he knows I like desserts. He sees me in there most weekends, to be honest. Yeah, so I'll be coming again, inshallah, to enjoy serving my full sweet tooth. We'll leave it there, I think. Food will be served very shortly, and then a final little bit of entertainment and enjoyment for you that everybody enjoyed last year. We're going to run on the auction. Some people missed out last year, so we've got same of the more of the stuff that you liked. So hopefully, inshallah, hang around while you're having your food, and we're going to try and shout over the top of you and try and get some money out of you guys as well. So have fun, enjoy. Hopefully it's been enjoyable for you. Jazakallah khair.
The Departed, देखिए The Departed. The Departed. चलो. Welcome.
Tuesdays? Tuesday, Sam?
No, Tuesday, Friday.
Monday to Thursday.
For the coach and dessert thing.
अच्छा.
Let's get some food.